Coming to you straight from the Rio Grande and beyond. Broadcasting to the four corners of the globe. So grab your seat, your coffee, or your sundowner.
Okay, everybody, here we go.
On point, as always. This is Gloves Off. Gloves Off.
Back at you in Gloves Off. I'm Professor Buitrón. I'm here with a dear friend of mine, Racheal Blaze, and we're going to touch base about guns, women with guns, the self-defense importance for women, the Second Amendment, and everything else. You know, a little bit about Racheal. She's been an advocate for women for a very long time, especially in the Chicago area. So let's put it to you this way. She is pure blood American, and she wants the freedoms of American art. How you doing, my dear friend? How you doing, my dear friend? You doing good?
I'm great. I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing?
Doing good, doing good, doing good. Have you guys gotten snow already or no?
No, are you kidding? Just lots of rain.
Yeah, well, we haven't gotten any rain. It's hot over here. It's hot in Texas. And one day you have to come over here and visit us.
Oh, I have my eyes on Texas. My friend is actually, let's see, Rangers for Farmers, I think it is, or Rangers. I'll have to send you the information, but my friend Mike is down there, and he's out there helping with the border. And
yeah, we have a problem.
A very huge problem, and you're only getting like the gist of what's not even like to the heart of what's really going on. I mean, he showed me some things that I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe that this is allowed. You know, those coyotes that President Trump was talking about are no joke, and they don't mess around. They're messing with the ranchers. That's what it is. I believe it's Patriots for Ranchers or something like that. And the reason why he got involved was because they were destroying the properties of the ranchers down in Texas that are close to the border. And so one actually, I believe the story was one actually threatened or said something about his daughter. And that's when he got involved. There's a lot of, it's not just people coming in the border. It's sex trafficking that is going on amongst the little people, the little children. We sat down when we went to the conference. He sat down and he showed me a few things, and he said, Racheal, you guys have no idea what we're dealing with down here. We're finding body parts. People dismembered, heads cut off, fingers, hands, in different parts. And they don't know who these people are, but they're being cut up. And there's children's clothes all over the place. I mean, you talk about, it's worse than like a third world country. I can't even explain it. It's like war happened there. And he actually now does public speaking about it, but he's had the cartel come after him. He's had them threaten him. He's had to seek other sources. So like Texas is,
you don't have that
by the border is bad. So but I just found out that we have 12,000 Afghanistan refugees and children here. I believe it's up there in Gray's Lake, is what I'm understanding. They're at some naval base or a military base here in Illinois, and they're just keeping them in barracks. They have no place to put these people until they're processed. Never allowed to play with them. I was,
you know, see, that's a problem. I have no problem with immigration because number one, I thought like most this is the number one country in the world. Guns are killing everybody. We have to go through the proper channels. That is so not wrong. Illegal immigration in Texas has always been around. I think this is, can we blame it? Is it the Democrats and the Republicans? I think both of them have sat on this for a very long time.
Oh, I agree.
They have not done anything about it. And it's
the
Congress's
original
fault,
point
period.
was
Congress
to
as per
fight
se,
your
and so the
government
Senate.
against tyrannical
And
orders.
you can't
And
point
that's
fingers to
why
one to
we
the
have the
other,
Second
because both of them
Amendment
have
so
been in
that we
control
can protect
the
ourselves.
back in the years,
And
and
what
this has
people
been
fail
going.
to
They've just been
realize,
kicking that can
last year,
down the
all of
street,
a
and this
sudden,
can
oh my God,
exploded.
everything's hitting the
So
fan.
now
I
it's
gotta
all
get
over.
my FOIA
The only
card.
thing
Well,
I
here in
can
Illinois, you have
say
to have a FOIA
is
card,
I think
which
President
is
Trump has brought a lot
it's
to
just
light
ridiculous.
that people weren't
Your
knowing
FOIA
what
card
was going on.
typically
There
takes
is no
about 3
denial
months.
anymore. There is,
Constitutionally,
oh shit,
that's
I
what
need to
it's
get off the
supposed to
couch
take.
and
It
get
shouldn't take
activated
longer than
and
3
protect
months,
my
but it's
country.
taking over
Who's
a
going to do it?
year for some folks
That's
to get
what
their
that's what
FOIA
happened.
card. I always tell
His
people, why wait
administration,
into an
he
emergency to go
himself
get these items? You should have
opened
been
up
had these.
what people
soon as
were trying
my
to
daughter, she turned
oblique
18,
out of
got
the
a FOIA card.
reality.
She knows
Yeah.
how to
I would
shoot.
just kind
She's
of
very
obscure
accurate.
this because I don't want. I know it's
Same
happening.
thing
I'm
with
not
my
going to deal
son.
with it, and
Both my sons know how to
it's been a
shoot.
long time going
They're
on.
very
That's why
accurate.
everybody on both sides of
You
Congress
know,
and the
they're both
Senate
legal.
are
You follow
complacent
the
about it,
rules
and
the
that's just the way I feel
guidelines.
about it. But
And
I
other
agree.
than that,
the problem is people have got a
you've been
misperception about
a
guns.
gun
It's not
advocate.
the guns, it's
You're
the operator.
teaching
And
firearms.
honestly,
I grew up with
let's
guns.
really
I've been
talk
I've
about
been hunting since I was a kid.
the
As you can see, some of
process.
the heads
So
up there.
here
Some
in
of them are my
Illinois, you
sons.
gotta
I
have
was
a
about to
FOIA
say they're
card.
about to moo or
You want to
croak or
purchase
whatever
a
they're doing
firearm,
back
you have
there.
to
No,
wait
I'm just kidding.
72 hours. That's against the
And
Constitution. You should be able to walk out with your
but
firearm
we
the minute
harvested
you
for the
purchase
whole
it.
thing. We've been hunting all over the
Background
place,
check, I
and
always believe
that's a
firmly on
passion.
the
Yeah,
background
I don't
check.
have
So
I don't hide
everybody
it, and
should
if
have a
people tell me
background check.
something
There are
about it,
certain
I'm just
people
like,
that
it's
just don't
part of it,
need to have
part of life.
firearms.
Get a deal with it.
And so the process here
We
is
do harvest the whole
ridiculous.
animal,
Right now,
as
the
per se.
concealed carry
You know, some people
licenses are
just want to
taking
shoot for a
longer than
trophy
3
or whatnot.
months. With
It's the whole
fingerprinting,
experience
it should take
that
3 months.
counts,
Yeah.
and
Without
safety
fingerprinting, they
above
can take as
everything
long as
else.
they
You know,
want. And here's the
Amen.
problem.
I was taught
Each
safety
governor
by my elders.
your
I
state
remember
police
living in
person,
Louisville,
your
Kentucky,
big
in
chief
fourth,
guy,
fifth, and
and he's
sixth
the one who
grade,
runs the
and they
operation.
used
If
to
he says,
teach gun
okay, we're not
safety
taking any
in Louisville. The
applications,
police
which
officer
they
would come
did for
down
a
here, and
while, they stopped
they'll give
processing
courses
applications
for
because
elementary school
of,
about gun safety.
the virus.
They started
And
off
so
in
that's
fourth
no
grade,
excuse.
fourth,
All
fifth,
of
and
our rights
sixth,
are
and
being
you did it
violated, and
every
people
year.
don't even pay attention
You don't
to it.
have
They
that
think
going
that
on
can't
it.
happen here. It's happening
So
here.
the first
So what
question,
we
let's
just
talk
did,
about
I'm with the
guns
stamp
and gun
tab
safety and what
here
it
of
matters
Illinois,
to you.
and I'm on that board. And we
What it
actually went to
matters to
Kendall
me.
County,
Well,
the county where I
first, a little
reside in,
brief history of me.
and
My kids
we
never played
presented
with
a 2A
fake guns,
resolution
toy
bill.
guns, water guns. You can ask my boys. They were never allowed to play with them. I was anti-gun for a very long time because I thought like most Americans do, like, oh my God, guns are killing everybody. That is so not wrong. That is so not true. It's the operator who is using these guns in ways that they shouldn't be used. They are for self-defense. They are part of the Second Amendment, and it is your right to be able to have a firearm. The original point was to fight your government against tyrannical orders. And that's why we have the Second Amendment, so that we can protect ourselves. And what people fail to realize, last year, all of a sudden, oh my God, everything's hitting the fan. I got to go get my FOIA card. Well, here in Illinois, you have to have a FOIA card, which is it's just ridiculous. Your FOIA card typically takes about 3 months. Constitutionally, that's what it's supposed to take. It shouldn't take longer than 3 months, but it's taking over a year for some folks to get their FOIA card. I always tell people, why wait into an emergency to go get these items? You should have had these. As soon as my daughter, she turned 18, got a FOIA card. She knows how to shoot. She's very accurate. Same thing with my son. Both my sons know how to shoot. They are very accurate. They're both legal. You follow the rules and the guidelines. And so the problem is people have got a misperception about guns. It's not the guns, it's the operator. And honestly, let's really talk about the process. So here in Illinois, you got to have a FOIA card. You want to purchase a firearm, you have to wait 72 hours. That's against the Constitution. So you should be able to walk out with your firearm the minute you purchase it. Background check, I always believe firmly on the background check. So everybody should have a background check. There are certain people that just don't need to have firearms. And so the process here is ridiculous. Right now, the concealed carry licenses are taking longer than 3 months. With fingerprinting, it should take 3 months. Without fingerprinting, they could take as long as they want. And here's the problem. each governor elects your state police person, your big chief guy, and he's the one who runs the operation. And if he says, okay, we're not taking any applications, which they did for a while, they stopped processing applications because of, the virus. And so that's no excuse. All of our rights are being violated and people don't even pay attention to it. They think that can't happen here. It's happening here. So what we just did, I'm with the Stamp Pack here of Illinois, and I'm on that board. And we actually went to Kendall County, the county where I reside in, and we presented a 2A resolution bill, or not a bill, but a 2A resolution, meaning that we want our county to honor the Constitution. So if the current administration or the governor says, okay, I want you to go and confiscate everybody's guns in the state of Illinois, guess what? Our county is not going to do that. We are now considered a sanctuary county. And what's good is that there's probably, 15, 20 different counties that are still not, they don't have their 2A resolution. And I would tell you that if you're in a Democrat state, I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. If you're in a state where they're coming after your guns or your rights to have a gun, that's when you need to make sure that you fight with your county and get a 2A resolution. Then that way you have your guns, you're allowed to keep them. And so these are things that we, the people, need to get off the couch and actually go to these meetings and fight for things that are silently being taken away from us. Guns being one of them. They dropped the subject for now, but I guarantee you at 3:00 in the morning, like they're doing here in Illinois, they're passing shit while we're sleeping.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. Now, with that being said, a lot of people say, and I hear this with many, is, oh, I know how to shoot. When was the last time you shot? And the first time they say, well, when I was in the Army. Now, what was that? 30 years ago. You need to practice. You need to practice. You have to have safety. Everything changes. Guns change. Designs change. There's things that go out there that change all the time. Tactics and how to use it as a self-defense. What to use. What you should use. There's all kinds of things and designs that have changed, and people say, no, the gun, it hasn't changed. Well, there's certain things, certain elements that have changed that make it easier for people.
Yes.
20, 30 years ago, you couldn't do that. 40 years ago, it couldn't have been done that way. If a person, especially in Illinois, wants to get do you all have a concealed handgun license, or
yes,
how does that come up?
Yeah, we have to have a concealed carry license. We are not allowed to carry. It has to be concealed or partially concealed, meaning that you could wear a t-shirt and see kind of an outline of your gun, but it has to be concealed. That's what I just got. I just had a class for concealed carry, and thank God all of my students listened to me. They all passed with a 100. Everybody got 30 on 30, all of their shots. And what
are you seeing now more? Are you seeing now more women going to take concealed classes?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I would say, well, the class that I had, I only had one female, but the classes that I have had, there is definitely a good portion. There's an even amount of even proportions of men to women in a class. And there are more and more women girl gun clubs than there were years ago.
Now, with that being said, are the gun clubs leaning strictly just for the usages for self-defense and for home defense, or is it also those gun clubs going more for, let's go hunting here, let's do this,
The gun clubs here do an array of things out here. They may go hunting, they may go to the shooting range. The majority of them have contracts with shooting ranges, or they may have their own shooting range. But those gun clubs can be 6 months to a year wait to get into those gun clubs. You either have to know somebody to get in one, or you got to wait. And so they do all kinds of stuff. You could do competition shooting. You can do your shotgun shooting with the clays and everything like that. So there's different types of things. Like I belong to the Illinois Rifle Association. I belong to the Glock Club, even though I don't own a Glock. SIG is my go-to. Nothing against the Glock. I like heavier guns. I'm a little small, petite woman. And for some reason, I got to have heavy guns. I shoot better with a heavy gun. Now, the Glocks, they're super light. And the problem I have with it is that their recoil, I feel is very snappy. And that's why I don't like the Glock. So, and I don't like the grips on the majority of them. So it's to each is their own. Actually, my choice of gun is my Staccato C2. That's what I conceal. 17 rounds and one in the pipe. But you don't necessarily have to have that many. If you can't make it in 1 or 2 bullets, you got a problem. You need to go back to the range and start practicing. 17 rounds, I always just carry that in an extra mag. It just I feel better with it in case. I mean, you could have multiple attackers. Who knows what the situation is, considering what world we live in right now? Nothing surprises me. Absolutely nothing. It's better to be over prepared than not prepared at all.
Sure. And you know what? And that is exactly right. And people need to also understand that if you're going towards a gun for self-defense, you also should be taking some unarmed self-defense courses as well.
Yes, I would definitely, for the ladies, would recommend some self-defense classes, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, join a dojo. Just because you own one of these does not mean that like you're an expert shooter and you know what to do in all kinds of situations, because most police officers, their very first time shooting their gun, they're not accurate shooters. This is the first time they're shooting. And I just had officers myself that I was training, and they can't shoot for shit. When's the last time you've been to the range? When's the last time you practiced? Oh, well, we only do once a year. We just have to qualify once a year. And I said, no, you guys need to practice every week. Get the guys together, the girls together, and practice at least once a week, if not more, because muscle memory, if you lose that muscle memory, your brain, like you're training your brain. It's not just training your finger or how to shoot or how to handle a pistol or an AK. You have to have muscle memory, and your brain is a part of that. If you don't exercise that on a regular basis, even if you're sitting on your couch to do a dry fire, or if you're practicing, obviously we're going to make sure that there is no ammo. You have to do safety check on your gun to make sure you have no ammo in there and there's not one in the chamber, because accidents do happen. But I do recommend dry firing or purchasing a Mantis X. I met the owner. He's here local. He has amazing tools to help the average beginner shooter learn how to shoot. So I know before, ammo was scarce and people didn't want to waste their ammo at the range and things like that. Now they're becoming a little bit more available, except for the hollow points. Now you can go to the range, but the issue is I have learned not to waste it. There are other tools that you can use besides Mantis X, that have targets that you can dry fire to with lasers and things like that. And then it will monitor how you're shooting. What's your progress? What are you doing wrong? Are you veering to the left? Are you anticipating a recoil? Are you veering to the right? Are you shaking? Why are you shaking? We should put the handgun and we should, take a deep breath. What's happening? And so basically, this is your friend and you have to treat it like it's your friend, but you also have to treat it with safety. I mean, you're definitely not going to point this unless you plan on shooting it. Don't put your finger on the trigger unless you plan on shooting it. So at all times, your firearm should be away from people and not pointed at them. and you have to make sure you do safety checks. You need to regularly clean your pistol on a regular basis. Get to know her. Strip her down. Get to know what's inside your gun and your pistol. Like, don't just go in it and like, okay, I got my pistol. Okay, I'm good. I'm safe now. No, learn your weapon. Know what it is, what it can do, how it feels. Strip it apart. Play with the mags. Release your mags. Put another mag in. How fast are you going to be in a situation where you're going to have to think? You're going to have to use critical thinking skills. And you're going to have to decide responsibly when to shoot and when not to shoot. When to protect, when not to protect. Now, the state of Illinois, this book right here, see how thick this is? This is nothing but Illinois laws regarding the 2A rights of constitutionists and laws that could go either way. Just because you shot a perpetrator that attacked you doesn't mean that you're not going to go to jail, or the jury doesn't find you guilty because you were not in imminent danger. Your life has to be in danger. And some people want to pick up a pistol. I'm like, look, don't mess with me. I got a pistol. No, that's not responsible. You can't be, that's not a responsible gun handler.
You're absolutely correct. I couldn't agree with you.
And by the way,
Especially-
this is just a dummy gun. There's like, you can't even load bullets in it. It's just an air pistol, but I like it because it's heavy. It feels like a pistol. It's what I train my students with.
And you have to train, and you also have to train. I keep saying this in a self-defense scenario, because if you do not know how to differentiate one from the other, you shouldn't even be carrying a gun from the first place.
Yes.
You know, and I believe in everybody's right to protect themselves. I also believe that everybody needs training. There has to be safety training. There has to be safety protocol left and right everywhere you go. And you know, we had a tragedy last week in a movie set that happened. You know, things occur, that accidents happen, but you don't want
Yep.
these accidents to be around, because these accidents pay a huge price. And
Huge price. Lives
it's a
are at
huge
stake.
price.
And the other thing I wanted to mention too is that just because you get a pistol and you got a license to carry one does not mean that you're being responsible. Now, let me explain a little bit further detail. When you get your firearm and you have a concealed carry license, your responsibility to get insurance, so that if you do have to shoot someone, A, you have access to an attorney, B, you are protected by your insurance company, and there's several out there. USCCA is one of them. And also, you want to make sure, as an instructor, you want to make sure that you also have instructor's insurance to teach it, because anything can go wrong. And the last thing you want is to lose everything, and then your family loses you because of one simple mistake someone made. And so it's just very critical that people understand that just because you get a firearm and you get a FOI card and you get this and like, woohoo, no, you have to be responsible all around the scope of
Absolutely.
owning a gun.
Absolutely.
Proper
Absolutely.
concealment, proper placement in your home, whether it be a safe or one of those little fingerprint type thing, which I don't recommend the fingerprint because it can malfunction, and you've just now locked your gun in a safe that you can't get to now because it malfunctioned. So proper way of putting your firearms up, especially when you have little children, or you don't know, your house could get broken into.
Mhm.
And your firearms get stolen. You got to be responsible. You got to think about all these things when you say, okay, I want to get my concealed carry. It's your right to do so, but make sure you know for sure what you're getting yourself into and what are the potential risks with it, and what are you going to do to make sure that you're securing your firearms safely.
Absolutely.
Can't
Absolutely.
be in a bar with your firearm. Here in Illinois, you can't go to a bar and have a firearm on your possession and have drinks and then leave. Can't do it.
No, you can't.
Same thing, Paul. This is how I kind of got away with not wearing the mask during the, last year, is because here in the state of Illinois, you're not allowed to conceal your face while in possession of your firearm on your person. But nobody really knows that. I mean, I've walked into several places and they're like, hey, you have to wear a mask. And I said, no, I'm a concealed carry person. I have a license to carry, and I can't, I'm sorry, it's against the law, which is a law. I'm against the law to wear a mask. And most of them are like, oh, okay. They don't say anything else. So that's how I've gotten away with it for the last, well, now it's 2 years. The last 2 years.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah. And the laws are
Year and a half.
consistently changing. Here's the other thing I want to tell everybody is that part of getting off the couch and being active, find yourself a local group, a patriot group. I don't care what it is. Get yourself involved in someone who's doing community action, who is following your state's law. I'm involved with 2 different types of committees here in my county, and I have learned so many things about what Illinois is doing while everybody is sleeping and not paying attention to what's being passed, what's being presented. It's your responsibility to find out what your governor or your state legislator is doing in the middle of the night. They call
Absolutely.
emergency meetings in the middle of the night.
Absolutely. I agree with you with what you're doing.
Got to take a
People need to
stand.
start
I
waking up.
mean, it can't
Folks, you
just
guys
be the
need to wake
select
up.
few. Huh?
You guys have to wake up. Folks need to
Yeah.
wake up, and they better start understanding who's running for their aldermen, for their councilmen, for their commissioners, for their
Yes.
representatives. You have to understand who it is, who's behind them, and understand everything. Let's start moving it.
Research. Look, I'm going to put it to y'all this way. I trusted the FDA, and look what happened. I almost died. Because I trusted the FDA and I trusted my surgeon that my breast implants were FDA approved. So that must be they're safe. They can be in my body. No, those things almost took my life. Not once, but twice. And after removal, 2.5 years ago, I'm still going through some complications. You know, not as bad as it was, but I still go through some stuff. You can't just put your trust or all your eggs in one basket. You cannot trust your government. You cannot trust the FDA. You cannot trust the CDC. I'm sorry, but if you put all your faith in those organizations, you're going to have a rude awakening tomorrow. I'm just saying.
Absolutely.
I mean, look at
Absolutely.
me. I trusted the FDA, and look at me. My body has been through hell, and it's still going through some hell. You can't put all your trust in that. If you don't know what your Constitution is, you better get this book. Everybody in my concealed carry class gets their Constitution handed to them. I don't let them leave without it. I said, you guys need to read this. You need to know it. Because if you got to flee or if you got to leave your home, you better know this. This is what's going to protect you. You better recite it and know it. Bring your Bible too. If you don't know that either, you better figure it out real quick, whether you believe or not. You better figure it out, because I'll tell you what, knowledge is power. And without that knowledge, you're just a weak individual. And that's what they're expecting. Most of these people are expecting for us to be weak, dumb, fat, overweight, lethargic, sick. They put stuff in our medication. They put stuff in our water. They put stuff in our air. If you're not paying attention and start researching some of these chemicals that are in your products, I can't believe the stuff that we allow in our products here in America. And we call this the land of the free. I don't use the word slave easily or often, but we are all a slave to the system. Let me repeat that. We are all a slave to the system. We, the people, need to break the system. God did not intend for us to be slaves at any point. And therefore, we, the people, need to unite, and we need to fight back.
Here's our next question, Rachael. If
Yes.
somebody is in Chicago and needs to get a hold of or go through classes, how can they get a hold of you?
They can send a message. You can email me at Racheal Blaze at rachealblaze.com. So that's RachealBlaze at rachealblaze.com. Or you can contact me via cell, which would be my 331-643-0066. If you crank me, I will block you. But you can contact me through those sources, or you can contact me on any of my social media. I have Instagram, I have Facebook, I've got Twitter. I don't use Twitter as often. I do have a Telegram, but my Instagram, I had a very large account on Instagram, and unfortunately I took a stand, and I shouldn't say unfortunately, I don't regret it. I took a stand and posted some things, and I voiced my opinion on some things, and well, Instagram didn't like it, and they took my account down. No loss to me, because I'll just start another one and restart and do it all over again. By the way, there's a big purge going on in social media, so they're purging again. And I'm, oh man, I wish I could just smack some of the faces of these people that are not awake right now. Like, I know the 3% are going to fight for this country, but if we get invaded, who's going to stand? The 3% can't handle just, we can't do an invasion. I mean, I don't know. People need to wake up, and people need to unite. It's not about a black and white issue. It's not about Democrat, Republican. It's about we the people, and we the people need to get involved. And that is the problem. We slacked and let it go and let everybody else take over. You can't do that. Can't do it.
We became complacent.
Exactly. We're like, oh, the government, they'll take care of us. No.
Right now we have to stop. And right now we have to start looking at all the different public official entities, elected public officials, and start
do
seeing
your research. Do your research.
Each candidate, each person that's up there, and if you don't like that person, vote somebody else in there. We need term limit.
Exactly.
We need
get to know. I mean, I've met all the candidates except for one that's running for governor here in my state, in the state of Illinois. I've met congressmen that are running. I've met state representatives that are running. And I'll tell you what, God gives me the discernment of who to like and who not to like. And I'll tell you what, there's a couple I do not like. Got a bad vibe. The minute you say I can't, you lost my vote. If the words I can't come out of your mouth, guess what? You just lost my vote.
Absolutely.
We want doers. We don't want people that are going to sit there and get bribed and have things underneath the table behind everybody, the world's back, while you're making deals. Not happening.
Absolutely. I think people already are awake of that's going on.
Yeah.
And I think people have already realized it, that's going on. The cat is out of the bag. And
Yep.
I think the next coming elections are going to be a lot different.
Oh yeah, like, and that's
what
the
I
other thing. I'm part of an election integrity team out here, and so I can't really talk too much about it, but I can tell you I got myself involved in that, and my eyes are wide open. And y'all want a question about cheating? Woo! You guys have no idea the kind of cheating we have found. It's nasty. It's nasty, Paul. And this isn't just our state. This is nationwide. They pulled this with dead people voting. You got empty lots voting. You got freaking abandoned warehouses voting. You guys have no idea. So don't ever say, I hate when people say, there's no cheating. That's just a big lie. That was a Trump lie. And I'm like, ooh, you think your governor got elected? We're finding out that our governor never even won. Never won. How many other governors and how many other states won? None. They were all handpicked by design. And when you start digging into it and you start doing research on these individual people, you find out their circle and you find out who they're connected to and the organizations they're connected to. And what people don't understand, some of those politicians got handouts from the KKK. That's my subject matter I'm researching of the last probably 3-4 days, researching who's connected, who's being funded by the KKK. Well, who's funding the KKK? Y'all need to find out. You need to research it. And I tell you what, Google is not your friend and not going to tell you the truth. Because I could go to Google, search the same thing, go to DuckDuckGo, search that. I got 2 different answers. 2 different answers. One for sure is a lie. And then you got the other one is legit. So you got to start using like You got to use common sense. You got to use what God gave you. God gave us all intuition. God gave us our survival instincts, and we need to start using those and stop relying on so many people to do the research for you. I want to know, so I'm going to research it.
Absolutely.
But I mean, to find out how far back this goes, this whole thing that's been happening for the last 2 years, it goes way back. History repeats itself. Did you not think it would happen again? I didn't think it would. No, I'm going to be honest. I didn't think it was going to happen in my lifetime. I was like, oh, good. It's not going to happen in my lifetime. I'll be dead and gone. I don't have to worry about it. No. So whether people like it or not like it, get involved, because this is your life. This is your life. And look, Mama Bear, I'm a Mama Bear here in Illinois. I got 3 babies. I got grandbabies. You got reasons to fight. Everybody got grandbabies. Everybody got family. Everybody's got children. You got to fight for who you love, and what you stand for. It just drives me nuts, Paul, when people don't take a stand on things and they just like, oh, it's not going to happen here. 2 years later, what's happening? Yeah. So I probably gave you more information.
You're listen. You're right on what you're saying. There's issues out there that need to be looked over. People need to start doing their research by themselves. The media has gone one way. There's so many wrongs that there's not one. You can't point a finger anymore. Everything's around you, and it's not paranoia. It's just that there's so many things. People became complacent in everything that's going on.
And Paul, they can't hide from it. The truth is coming out. What did God say in the Bible? He said, the truth shall set you free, and is about to set us all free. And we who are awake and those who are still sleeping are going to be the ones who are going to help the ones that are still sleeping, because they're going to go through some shock.
No, I think we all are. This country's going to go through some rough times. We're just in the calm of the storm.
This is just the beginning, Paul.
That's exactly right. My dear friend, I wish you the best, and especially on your venue. Keep on doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
Keep on teaching people. Keep on motivating individuals. You're doing a hellacious job. And, keep moving forward. And I know you're also leading people and doing some weightlifting and getting fit. Continue doing that as well. Continue doing that as well. People need that. We all need that. And
I'm going to touch on that just for a quick second.
Sure.
I know that looking at the world right now is a lot of doom and gloom and sadness, but you got to keep your frequency high and keep your spirit high, because you know what? They feed off of the fear, and they feed off of your doubts and your thoughts, your second thoughts. Like, you have to be able to control that, because you got to train yourself like the military trains them. You think they could just go into combat fresh out of boot camp? No, they have to be trained psychologically and physically. It's muscle memory. Your brain is muscle memory. Your body is muscle memory. You have to keep it. You have to keep going. It's keep going. Right now, a lot of people are in survival mode, and it's going to get a lot worse. You might have to live in a tent for a little while. You might lose your house. You might lose your car. Material things. What did God say? Material things are not coming with you. They're not coming with you. We're not fighting for material things. We're fighting for our lives. That's the difference. That's the difference.
Absolutely. So with this, I'm going to let you all go. We had an excellent show. I'm glad you came out here and voiced your opinions. People need to understand that people out there are helping others snap off and read your Constitution. Absolutely.
Bill of Rights, Constitution, your amendments. There are several organizations. I got, this is the Bill of Rights Institution. You can go straight to their website. You can order these. I ordered 100. I got them sent for free. Every one of my concealed carry or any one of my classes, somebody doesn't have a constitution and they can't answer one question that's in the constitution, guess what? You get in a book because you need to read it. So I really appreciate finally getting on your show, Paul. I know it's been a long time coming. It's been a
Things
while.
happen.
Oh yeah. I'm so glad that I was able to come on. I told Paul, I said, Paul, my face is a little red. I just got the shower. My skin's a little irritated. I'm going through a flare. But I said, you know what? I'm going to do this. We're not going to cancel. We're going to do it. And we did it. And you can't even see how red my face is, but it's pretty red. But I thank you for having me on. And
thank you for
look
doing what
forward
you're
to the
doing.
next time, giving you guys some updates. I'm always available for questions at Racheal Blaze. So it's Racheal Blaze on any of my social media. Unfortunately, my handle changed on Instagram, so it's Racheal Blaze 1, Racheal Blaze 1. Website is being redesigned as we speak, so hopefully in the next month or two, you will have a brand new Racheal Blaze website. Keep updated with me. I'm going to do some kind of cool stuff with concealed carry. Start getting myself out there a little bit.
And I know that we're supposed to be up there when this kind of calms down, go back over there and teach a little bit more of the savate. And we want you to come.
Yes, I would like to meet with you guys when you do come back here.
And please do. The next time we're up there, we're going to do it. Bring a crew, and we'll have some fun. Okay.
Okay.
And folks, if you like this, press subscribe, share it, and also you all stay safe. So next time.
Yes.
God bless you.
Live confidently.
And leave safe. We'll see you soon.
Amen.